What medieval princess life was really like. A medieval princess woke with the pale light of dawn slipping through narrow windows. Stone walls held the night's cool breath. Soft footsteps moved beyond heavy doors. Her days were shaped by quiet routines, gentle prayers, slow meals shared in calm halls. She wore layered fabrics that felt steady and familiar. Each stitch carried patience. Each morning arrived without haste. The world beyond the castle rested in mist. Inside, time moved like a steady tide, unhurried and calm. Her life was guided by learning and watchful care. Tutors spoke in low voices. Lessons came with soft echoes of ink and parchment. Music drifted gently from strings and flutes, not for display but for peace. She learned manners, faith, and careful speech. Long walks passed beneath stone arches and quiet gardens. Roses slept on their vines. Fountains whispered. Even duty felt slow and measured. Every step was observed, yet the rhythm remained gentle and even. As evening settled, candles warmed the shadows. The castle grew still. She sat by the window, watching the sky dim to velvet blue. Thoughts moved softly, like distant bells. Life was simple in its order, heavy in its responsibility, yet wrapped in calm repetition. The night offered rest to all things. Breath slowed. Flames grew small. The world softened. And in that quiet space, everything drifted into a peaceful, waiting hush. Night in the castle moved slowly, like a deep breath held and released. The princess rested beneath woven blankets, heavy and warm. The room was lit by a single flame, steady and kind. Outside, the wind touched stone walls with gentle hands. Bells in the distance marked time without hurry. Sleep was shaped by ritual, soft prayers, familiar words, the sense of being held by ancient walls that had watched many quiet nights before this one. Her days carried expectations, yet they unfolded at a calm pace. She learned to listen more than speak, to sit in silence without restlessness. Meals were shared in low conversation. Bowls passed gently from hand to hand. Servants moved with care, never rushing. Windows framed the sky like painted scenes. Clouds drifted. Birds crossed slowly. Life felt enclosed, yet steady, like a river guided by stone banks, always moving, never loud. As darkness deepened, the castle surrendered to stillness. Fires dimmed to glowing embers. Footsteps faded. Even thoughts became soft and distant. The princess felt the quiet weight of history around her. Generations resting in the same hush. The night did not ask for anything. It simply wrapped the world in calm. Breathing slowed. Time thinned. And everything settled gently, as if the hours themselves were drifting into a long, peaceful pause. Morning returned without urgency, arriving as a soft glow along the stone floor. The princess rose slowly, guided by habit rather than thought. Water was poured into a basin, cool and clear. Hands moved gently. Clothing was layered with care, each piece familiar and calm. The castle breathed awake in silence. No sudden sounds, only the quiet promise of another steady day unfolding at its own pace. Her hours were shaped by patience. Waiting was a skill learned early. She sat during lessons, listening to calm voices that never rushed. She stitched by the window, watching light drift across the room. Courtyards echoed faintly with distant movement. Nothing pressed in too close. Even hopes were held softly. Life asked her to remain still, to observe, to endure with grace. In that stillness, time felt wide and unbroken. When night came again, it felt expected, almost welcomed. Lamps glowed low. Curtains rested against stone. The world narrowed to breath and warmth. Thoughts slowed until they barely formed. The princess lay surrounded by quiet, carried by the same rhythm as the castle itself. Walls stood watch. Stars remained distant and calm. Nothing needed to change. Nothing needed to happen. The hours stretched gently forward, dissolving into a soft, endless calm. Seasons passed through the castle with a gentle patience. Light changed its angle on the walls. Cold mornings softened into warmer days. The princess noticed these shifts quietly. She felt them in the air, in the weight of her clothes. Days followed one another like slow footsteps on stone. There was comfort in repetition. The same paths walked, the same chambers crossed. Time felt less like a line and more like a calm circle, returning again and again. Her world was small yet deeply familiar. Towers rose like still guardians. Gardens breathed softly beneath the sky. She watched leaves fall without sadness, watched them return without surprise. Conversations stayed low and careful. Silence was never empty. It held meaning. It held rest. Even moments alone were not lonely. They were filled with the quiet presence of the past, resting gently in every wall and shadow. As another night settled, the castle wrapped itself in darkness once more. Candles flickered, then rested. The air grew cool and still. The princess lay quietly, listening to the soft rhythm of her own breath. Nothing pulled at her thoughts. Nothing demanded attention. The world beyond the walls felt far away and quiet. Within this calm space, time loosened its hold. The hours drifted without shape or sound, fading gently into a deep, peaceful stillness that asked for nothing at all. The final night arrives like a soft curtain lowering. The castle rests in complete stillness. The princess lies beneath quiet shadows, feeling the slow comfort of familiar walls. Stone holds the warmth of many evenings. The air is calm and steady. Nothing moves too quickly. Even time feels gentle here. Thoughts drift without shape. Breathing becomes slow and natural. The world feels distant, yet safe, as if wrapped in a long, patient embrace. Candles fade to a quiet glow, then to memory. Outside, the sky deepens into dark blue calm. Stars remain silent and far away. Inside, everything is settled. Duties rest. Lessons sleep. The heart grows light without effort. The night does not speak. It simply stays, soft, unbroken. The princess listens to the stillness and becomes part of it. Nothing is expected. Nothing is missing. The moment is complete, exactly as it is. The castle breathes once more, then grows quiet again. Walls stand watch without sound. Dreams move slowly, like mist across a field. The hours stretch and blur, losing their edges. There is only warmth, only calm, only the gentle sense of being carried forward without effort. The night holds everything with care and lets go of nothing. In this deep and peaceful hush, the last words arrive softly and fade just as gently. Good night.